Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to our spoiler-free comics review show where we review some of the new comics that have come out this week. And of course, you can tell us that you want anything that you see here while supplies last, and we can pull it for you and hold it or ship it or whatever you need done. So,
All right, so first up is probably the biggest comic of the week, debatably, because this is such a huge week. Hopefully, it'll be the biggest comic of years. Who knows? This is Crossover #1 by none other than Donny Cates and Jeff Shaw, the team that brought you God Country. That's kind of the book that put Donny Cates on the map. That's where I first heard of him. I read it and I was blown away. Since then, Marvel snatched him up, and they're having to do everything all the way to events, which we'll get to later. Anyway, I got to read this issue early, and I thought it was fantastic. So we ordered a lot of it because we will hand sell this baby if we have to. I don't think we're going to need to, though. I think everyone is going to read this thing. Is getting really good reviews. So here is my spoiler-free preview of Crossover. I like comics that, while it's superheroes and there's powers and all that, I like it when they're a little brainy too. That's what sets your Watchmen apart from just your average superhero comic. He starts out by deconstructing not just comics, but what is real? Who is more real? Are you more real than Superman?
No.
You seem more real, but I mean, seriously, when you die, how many people have you affected versus this character?
Yeah.
So that's just how it starts. Okay, that's like first 2 pages. From there, I will tell you the premise. The premise is that superheroes from comic books appeared one day over Colorado, and they landed on a large portion of Denver, and they were having this big battle. I mean, it's tons of them, good ones, bad ones, and they really messed up the world. Like, people tried to stop it, and they couldn't stop it. Well, finally, one superhero put a bubble around the whole thing, and so they're locked in there fighting. So now you're on the outside world with this girl who works at a comic store, and you find out that anyone who likes comic books or likes superheroes are now hated. They're hated. They're seen as the enemy because of what these superheroes from who knows where have done. So right away, it puts comic readers, you're sort of like the rebels of this world. You're the people that are like, hey, these books I read didn't do it. That's a whole different thing. So the premise is really, really interesting. There's a lot of surprises I'm leaving out. The writing it's very clear, but also has a sense of the profound. I think this is going to be a really big indie book that no one's ever going to forget. I mean, we might be looking at the next Saga, next Walking Dead. I don't know, but Cates, he's been knocking out of the park with all this stuff from Marvel, and with that, you got to keep the gloves on a little bit. You have editors telling you what to do. This is his own work, and the slew of great artists who are working with him. So that is the A cover. We got some variants as well. Here is the first variant. Then we got this little beauty. And then we do have a few blank variants, so get your favorite artist to draw on those. Here is the 1 in 10 Daniel Johnson variant. We're selling this for just $15. Limited supplies. There's a lot, so I'm going through them fast. There's a 1 in 25 Moore variant. A lot of characters on that one, all huddled around the person looking at the comic. This one, the 1 in 50 Ryan Otley variant. This is great. Walking Dead homage. I'm sure most of you knew that right off the bat. So just 25 for that one. Limited supplies. We only have 2 of these. Ooh. This is the 1 in 75 Shaw sketch variant. For just $30. And lastly, the 1 in 100 Stegman variant for $45. So I could go on and on. That's all I can say though for now.
Yeah, that I think it's going to be really big. It's almost like a way Alan Moore would talk about comics, about like these are bigger than what people give them credit for. These are concepts and these are immortal characters. So that's cool that he's kind of pulling that out.
I highly suggest everyone at least try out the first issue. I think this has a wide appeal to pretty much everyone. And I think the last page, what's hinted at, I can't wait to see where that is going. That's the most I can say. There's a big sort of like, oh my goodness, is he going there reveal. So there we go. I'm excited. I hope you all pick it up and enjoy it like I did.
It's real funny too. It's like if you open it, you're already the audience for it.
Yep.
It's made for people who read comics. Well, I got to read something. Let's see. I got to read Wolverine, Black, White, and Blood. Everyone's favorite color, blood. So this is really cool. If you're familiar with what DC did with like Batman Black and White, or they've recently had a digital book that is Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Red. Very similar, where it is, I believe this one only has 2 short stories in it, but done by really big creative teams. You got Kubert's in there. You got Jerry Duggan working in there. Really, really cool. Not out of continuity, but aside from what's currently going on X-Men. If you just want a really good story of Wolverine,
I do.
just hacking and slashing, you definitely want to check this out. And as the title suggests, there's only the 3 colors. There is black, white, and red. I was going to show off
that spread you showed us.
So if this doesn't sell it, this is just an amazing idea of what it is. There's Wolverine fighting, I believe it's Wendigo. This is by some Kubert art. So yeah, just a really, really cool idea. I love these. Just kind of, I'm not sure if any of them are going to be more than 1 story long, but one and done stories about your favorite characters. And we haven't, even though there was a time there was so much Wolverine, there's not as much Wolverine right now, and especially him doing what he does best.
Yeah, something where focus is on him and not his relationship with the other X-Men.
Right. So as you saw in that one, it's definitely like one of the stories is very much his Weapon X time. Later, it's like him on a motorcycle cross country. So those classic Wolverine-isms. And then there is a bunch of really cool variant covers.
Not as many as crossover, though.
Not as
we
many,
promise.
but some. So that is the B cover. Then we have the 1 in 25 Daniel cover for only $15. Then we have 2 of these. This is the 1 in 50, the Kubert color. And that one, they said, it's just Wolverine blood. Forget that. Well, I guess
there's a little bit of black in there.
Black and blood.
That is blood.
And then we only got 1 of these. This is the 1 in 100 variant. So really cool book, especially if you've just been jonesing from some classic Wolverine hack and slash. Definitely want to check out Wolverine Black, White, and Blood.
I think they timed it just right because I've really enjoyed X of Swords, but the idea of, hey, let's pull back and just show you this character the way you've seen before.
It's not quite as grandiose.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's really cool.
So, real quick before I get to the next one, we had 2 of the 1 in 75s for crossover, right?
Yes.
Okay, so both of those are gone now.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
While supplies last, and they barely lasted.
All right, and that goes to Davis and Wayne. Thank you guys so much for watching our show. Whoever is watching right now, let us know you're watching. Say hello.
I'm watching. Hello.
Or if you're watching it later on YouTube, we appreciate that as well.
Of
Please
course.
subscribe.
Oh, I mean everybody, all the time. All right, I'm going to talk about Batman 102, which is out today. DC books are on sale on Tuesdays around here. So we have what is described as the first appearance of, this is, where am I blinking?
Ghostmaker.
Super cool new anti-hero?
Yeah,
Hero?
very, very
Anti-Batman hero.
anti-Batman hero, I think is a better way of saying
We're
it.
about to figure out a lot more about this character. So he had his first cameo in Batman 100, but his first actual appearance is said to be in this issue, so 102.
And he's in it a lot.
And if you don't know much about this character, why? Come on, you've been reading Joker War. This is sort of a new foil to Batman. Not a villain, but someone who thinks that maybe Gotham needs a new dose of something else that's not just Batman. Maybe the Ghostmaker is what he's looking for.
His name is very descriptive, too, with what he does.
He sounds like he'd also make a good Ghostbusters villain.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the A cover. If you don't have this on your pull list already, if for some reason you were just on Joker War and you want to see the rest of the series now, let us know. Issue 102, it's a great jumping on point. We still have plenty of the back issues as well. And then here is the Matina variant.
It's a great cover.
Yeah.
Yep.
Matina, he always does a lot of like reds and purples. Not really seen him use a lot of blue in this way, so that's pretty cool. So that is the Matina cover for 102.
Okay, so another really big book this week. This one's not written by Donny Cates, but it is totally because of his source material. It is Web of Venom Empyre's End One Shot. Null is coming to the Marvel Universe. Everyone knows it. Black is starting, and so let me tell you about this book without spoiling too much. So whether you read Empyre or not, which Empyre was a pretty fun read, the Kree and the Skrulls were big parts of it. Basically, in this, some Skrulls are headed out in space, and guess what? Null and his forces are headed. They're trying to leave Earth to go home. Well, Null's coming the other way, and there's a little trap that they've set that these guys set off. It reads very much like a Alien movie.
Oh, cool.
That's what it reads like. It's the symbiotes. It isn't just Null in there. He appears. He does appear. He is there, but it's more like they know what symbiotes are. In fact, one of them has actually dealt with symbiotes before, and they know what danger they are in. They try to fight back. I always like where you see a lot of things where somebody weak is getting stalked in a lot of horror. I like it, my horror, where the person who is the victim is just as capable, because that's scarier when somebody capable is still losing to a villain. And that's what this is. I mean, so these Skrulls, they're tough. They know what they're doing, but read the whole issue.
I'm guessing not a lot of Skrulls make it out of this issue.
It's a really fun read. It's got me really pumped for the King in Black stuff. And I won't say what he does, but Null does appear in this, and not just one panel. So he is in it. So let's see. It's got a few variants. Here is the what do they call this variant?
The Null is Coming variant.
Yeah,
That's
obvious.
right. The Null is Coming variant. How could I forget? So there's that one. That is just cover price. And then we only have one of these left. It is the 1 in 50 Silva variant. Look at the kisser on Null.
Pucker up.
That is scary. So just $40, only one of these available.
Nice. So the other book that I got to, so if you didn't know, sometimes comic book stores get to read books a little early, like we've mentioned before. It's one of the perks. So DC sent out a, not the full issue, but just the beginning of it, this is Dark Knight, or Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Batman Hush. And so a few weeks ago, I got to read essentially like 5 or 6 pages of it. I was like, oh, this is cool. It's very much a what if the classic Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee Hush story went a different way without giving away too much of it. And then when I was like, okay, I want to see what happens in the rest of it, I picked this up and I was like, whoa, the second half of this has a lot of really interesting stuff in it.
I know you started showing me some of that
Yeah.
right before the show.
I don't know how to say.
Wild.
There is kind of a new character or a new mantle a character takes on that's like, I could completely see them using this character in the future, especially with letting characters like grow up and take on new roles and everything. But there's a Bat family member that gets a new title in this, so that's really, really cool.
Neat.
But other than that, it's just a really cool story, especially if you've read Hush and you like that. The character Hush, the art is not by Jim Lee, but very reminiscent of Jim Lee. A lot of the original panels kind of recreated. So really cool, just a one-shot. It's, let's see, it is...
Was it $5.99, I think?
Yes, it is $5.99. It's a little bit more, but it's a bigger, thicker book. And yeah, just another great one-shot story to read in this kind of twisted, dark multiverse.
Cool. Just what we need. More twisted, dark stuff. Alright. Up next, I have TMNT Jenica She had a volume before, but this is volume 2. So great place to start. It's number 1. The only female turtle, right?
Ever.
Ever.
The first and only.
Yeah, in the
First and only.
comics.
Yeah.
So, just right off the heels of Last Ronin, we have this series coming at us. So, this is the A cover, which I am making fall. That's the A cover here. And here is our B cover. It looks like she's got a little bit of lipstick on in this one.
That's the Kevin Eastman.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably poisonous. You know,
Oh, Poison Kid.
ninja tactics.
So this issue is $4.99, and let me know if you need it. You're next.
Oh yeah. So once again, another big, awesome book I read from Marvel this week. Thor #9. So everyone's been wondering what's going to be the next big thing now that Black Winter has passed. There was a couple sort of let things settle issues. This is starting up another 6-part story arc. It revolves around Donald Blake. So back way a while ago, I guess it started in the 60s. Donald Blake was the alternate ego of Thor. He has a staff that he would hit the ground with, and him and Thor would switch places.
Yeah.
That's how it would be, or their psyches would, sort of. Well, anyway, Donald Blake has not been around for a long time. And so in this issue, I'll tell you the premise without spoiling too much. Thor has had it rough. His hammer hasn't been working right. Random people have been able to pick it up.
It's been harder for him and easier for everybody else.
Yeah, and this has been out long enough to say, and this is not new to this issue, but Loki's been able to pick up the hammer. It's alarming. Well, he needs a break, so he decides, I'm going to switch with Donald Blake. I know I haven't done it in ages, but I'm going to do that.
See if this old rusty trick still works.
Correct. And at first you're like, wow, really? You're going to switch with Donald Blake just to have a rest? I will say Loki calls him out on it. Loki goes, no, you got a plan, and I see what you're doing. So I won't tell you what the plan is, but Thor is doing more than taking a vacation. Well, let me just say, I'm interested enough to see where Thor is going with his plan. But when they do the switch, what happens with Donald Blake is pretty surprising. He's not the character he used to be. It might be a big deal. I think I see why this is a 6-parter here. So I'm not saying he's a new Black Winter who's going to destroy the universe, but he is coming back with the power of Thor, and he gets to wield it however he wants to. And after all this time, what is he like? What's he been doing? Where has he been? And all that gets answered in this issue.
Nice.
So I liked it a lot. I thought it was real cool. And here is the Fortnite variant. I don't know what that creature is, but I think Thor could probably him. Here is the Jenny Frison variant.
It's the Phoenix Force Valkyrie.
Look at that beauty. And these are just cover price. And then we only have one of these left. Here's the 1 in 50 for $40. All right.
I'm excited about that one. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So next up, I will talk about Sweet Tooth. And if this looks really weird, it is. So Sweet Tooth by Jeff Lemire. Jeff Lemire kind of got one of his big breakthroughs with Sweet Tooth. A story about a boy that does have antlers. He was raised in the woods by kind of your almost kindly woodchopper type character. But as the series goes on, you learn more about there's other kids that are part animal, and it just the whole world kind of blew up into this much bigger, interesting thing. Well, this is a new #1 called Sweet Tooth Returns, and it's rather than a continuation, it's a retelling with some of the elements, but very new reader friendly. But if you like Jeff Lemire, which a lot of people do, I really love Jeff Lemire, and you like his, he has a certain style he does a lot of times that's very rural. He does a lot in like the Canadian wilderness, everything, but he does it so well. This is very much where that kind of flourished. So really cool. He does the art in it as well. So a cover and then a crazy cool
Oh yeah,
Jim Lee variant cover. So crazy to see. The character's name is Sweet Tooth. See him done that way. But really fun series. The original series was really great. I'm excited to see where.
I missed the original series. Does he have a sweet tooth?
Yeah, that's kind of why his dad calls him Sweet Tooth, because he really likes chocolate bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Glad that ties in. All right, so I didn't get to read this one, but I did skim through it a good bit, and this is U.S. Agent John Walker, our main character, U.S. Agent. And what I liked about this, just through skimming through it, is the panel structure was really unique. There is some really inventive art styles they're doing, so they do like 9-panel grid, but they also have just some like full spreads. There was a lot of thought put into the paneling in this, which I appreciate. So that's what comics are all about. So we have a couple variants for it. We have this variant. These are just the regular price, $3.99 variants. And this is our A cover. Oh, and this one.
Yeah, and that character going to be appearing in the Falcon Winter Soldier show. So you can tell Marvel kind of gears up, kind of reminds you about characters before they make their premiere.
So
right.
Check it out.
The indie book that I read this week is called Origins. It's a new one from Boom. Boom has been doing lots of good books over the past year.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really interesting. It's a book that I will say it might take 2 issues to kind of understand what the premise is, because it seems like it has a very big premise. It's post-apocalyptic. It almost feels a lot like Live. I know a lot of people really enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed that. We Live got its premise sort of out there in the first issue. This one, these people are back in the world, and obviously nature and beasts and weird things have taken over. It's like humanity's been gone for a long time, and you're kind of trying to figure out why that is, what happened. It's very, it feels very foreign, which I like sometimes. It's that discovery of, okay, what is this world? What is going on? Um, I will say by the end, you definitely learn that humans are no longer in control of the planet, and like new humans are not a thing. You know, like for instance, a child or a baby would be like incredible. The art is really, really good. So for those of you who are interested in those sort of post-apocalyptic, what could happen to man in so many years, check it out. We have this 1 in 10 variant for just $15. It's just the Virgin variant. There are no other covers with this one.
Cool. Next, I was just going to mention that we had the next issue of Batman, The Adventure Continues, a really cool cover with Jason Todd on the cover, and it had this really awesome variant. Really cool Joker Harley Quinn on there.
All right, and up next we have. Did I not get the A cover? I did not get the A cover for this, but that's okay, because I'll talk to you guys about the variants. And I'll talk to you about issue number 2 of Walking Dead Deluxe. So this is a reprint of the Walking Dead series in color for the first time. So Robert Kirkman is reprinting the entire series of Walking Dead. Issue 1 came out a little while ago. We still have some copies left if you need it. I do have the A cover. I forgot to grab it, but here are our 2 variants right there. So let me know if you need this and if you want to be on that series.
New book from Aftershock. It is Red Atlantis #1. Everybody's been grabbing up the Aftershock ever since it was announced that they're becoming a sort of a movie studio sort of thing as well. So I read this one a few weeks ago. I got a preview copy. It was very cool. It's a thriller, sort of, sort of like something setting off sleeper agents or maybe even people who don't know what they're doing. But if you like political thriller, today, election day of all days, I would check it out. I thought it was written very well. You know, sometimes it's good to get away from the superheroes and get more into the strangeness of our world. So Red Atlantis #1.
Next, I'll be talking about this one in a minute. It's the most important book this week. But we have Star Wars Adventures: Shadow of Vader's Castle. So they've done, I think for like the last 2 Octobers, they did the series called like Tales from Vader's Castle.
Yeah.
They're Star Wars kind of horror stories. They're still kind of fun, all ages, but really cool. Different artists and writers kind of take on what's a horror story in the Star Wars universe, with Vader's Castle kind of being like your House of Secrets or one of those type things. So really cool. It's just a one-shot if you want to read some spooky Star Wars stories, and it has this nice variant.
You got to keep the Halloween vibe going.
Yes,
Yeah,
keep
as
that
long
ball
as
in
you
the air.
can.
Yeah, it's Halloween until Christmas, everyone. Thanksgiving, I guess that has its own little island in there too.
All right. I said, oh, all right and okay at the same time.
Okay.
Up next from Boom, we have Mighty Morphin. So this is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is splitting off into 2 different books. We have Mighty Morphin, and coming out, I believe, starting next week is Power Rangers. So here we go. #1. The regular series has been going on for 50 issues. So if you feel like you've missed out, want to jump in somewhere new, now's your chance. So this is the A cover. This is a nice group shot variant cover. Then, awesome bright red blank cover.
You know, I hope next year they relaunch and with 4 titles. One is just Mighty, one is just Morphin, one is just Power, and the other is Rangers.
These are all $4.99. They're really nice cardstock covers, so they feel great. You know if you need it.
Right. Also from Marvel, we just got in our Juggernaut #1 second prints. We sold out of the first print. There are even more X-Men fans than we knew. This title has been very cool. It's only made it up to the second issue. So if you didn't get the first issue or you want to get involved now, we have those on our shelf. As of tomorrow.
As of tomorrow, but yes. So, most important book of the week, and there's a reason for that. I know a lot about this book because I was the artist on this book.
Yeah.
Yay! It's finally out. So this is Show Me History, Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time. It is a all ages biography on Muhammad Ali, starting from his childhood all the way to his death, highlighting some of the biggest fights he had, but also what he did culturally and kind of the boundaries he broke during his time. So super fun book that I worked on. I did all of the interior art, pencils, inks, all that. So we got in quite a few copies, and I will be signing these. So everyone watching this live gets first dibs. I will sign. I will draw boxing gloves in it, whatever you want. And it is only $12.99. So make me happy.
Yeah, I flipped through that, and it is a well-made book also. It doesn't feel in any way flimsy.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a hardcover with a lot of love put into it, and I can say that honestly.
Yeah, so anyone who purchases it, Andy has said he will be kind enough to sign it. You know, even if you have to pick it up at a time where he's not going to be there, he will sign it for you. So just let us know. We are going to have an official signing event, but that's going to be a little ways off.
Yeah.
So this is sort of the first wave of this. Anyone who wants to get their signed copy early, they can. But if people miss out or you love it and you want to get more copies or show it to your friends, we'll have a signing event. It's probably going to be a week from Saturday.
Yeah.
That'll be fully announced coming up.
Cool. All right. Well, yes. Congratulations, Andy.
Well, thank you.
He worked really hard on it, and it's really great. So we're excited to have his first signing here, I want to say. So cool. Look forward to that on our show or on our Facebook page. We'll be announcing that soon. Last thing I have to show off today are the beginning. So the Alex Ross covers are over to be replaced by the Varegi covers. So these are super great Native American inspired artwork that Varegi is doing. So this is obviously our Black Panther variant. We have a few of these left, and the Thor variant this week. We're going to have a bunch of covers that feature Varegi's art, and they're all in this just really beautiful style. We've started to have people sign up for all of them. Mm-hmm. So if you want that, if you know you want these and like these, let us know. But in the meantime, this is what's out today. They are both just cover price of $3.99.
And the last thing I want to show off, the latest Star Wars is out. Star Wars number 8. We have several on the shelves. However, we have just this 1 in 25 variant for $20 to any Star Wars fiends who need the 1 in 25.
Fiends.
All right. Well, I think that does it for this week. It's a really big week. If you need some distraction, come see us. You can come get your DC comics until 7, but if you're not local or you want us to come stop by tomorrow, that is all right too. We'll take care of you. Just comment, shoot us a message, do whatever you need to do, and we will hook you up. We'd love to be your comic store. We are all real people behind this screen.
I'm not a hologram.
Thank God. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you same time, same place.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Borat.
I know, it came out as like Jin Kui.
Big week.
Sold a good bit of